that isn't a joy to see, I don't know what is. Greetings and welcome to episode 62 of my Empire Total War Darth mod Great Britain campaign, and this, my friends, we left it last time, where we have coalesced all of our sort of forces that were in the south here into Patras. It is one sort of bridgehead here, and the reason we have that, of course, is at the behest of the council, which really has come to the fore and given some wonderful advice to us. That advice is the primary advice that was running all the way through, was that we need to strike against France. Poland is just too powerful for us. Poland is, as you can see here, an absolute titan. It's a behemoth. It stretches all the way here. Look at it, all the way to Stuttgart, all the way to Minsk. It is just massive. Now it has Istanbul, and it also has Greece, so it controls huge swathes. It is probably second, I'd say it's probably third in the world. It's probably the third largest empire in the world, behind Russia and France. Dare I say that France might be even the strongest nation, because it does have, as you can see here, all of continental USA and indeed the majority of Canada under its control. It even has by default the Upper Louisiana and Louisiana from the Louisianans here, because they're pretty much a puppet state for the French. So you could sort of argue that the majority, I would say, they'd probably dip their toe eventually into South America if the time was right for them. As you can see, they're also raiding our trade lines along here as well. So they really are a powerhouse here in the New World, and that sort of translates. Its power is moving through here. Now, let's a quick look here. As you can see, minus 8,425, which means we probably need to adjust our trade rating here. Let's just adjust that slightly there. That should see us fine. Yes, 19,143. As you can tell from that, the majority of our income is from raiding trade lines. So we've got to be very, very careful here what we do. We've got to tread a very careful, thin line. Now, we have some promotions, of course, here, which of course Admiral Collins, and I'd like to just tip the hat to OSW, who is Admiral Collins, who actually recommended and suggested that we attack France well over a month ago. And of course, at the time we were sort of still bogged down with fighting with Poland, but I can see now the clarity of his thought in taking France, and indeed the advice of all the councils now sort of coalesced, has sort of peaked to this point where we are now. So it really is important that we do this absolutely spot on here. Now, also something I hadn't considered at all was attacking Cairo. The council has called us to attack Cairo, and indeed they do also have Tripoli here, France. So we've got to, if we want to rid ourselves of France utterly, but look at Cairo. Imagine the income from there, especially the port of Alexandria here, which was one of the major ports in the world for trade. So if we can take Cairo. We're not going to send any ships down here, because if you send a ship down here, we'd use up the amount of movement it can actually use. All ships have to be able to make to the French coast here, this sort of small out sort of French coast here. Everything hinges up on us getting there. It really, really does. So what we're going to do is we're going to start preparing now. I'm not sure if we see any fighting in this particular episode. This is going to be one of preparation of us moving into position to make sure that we actually can do what we want to do here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start putting ourselves into position. Now we've got here, we're recruiting 4 sloops of war here for transportation of these armies. We've also got 4 sloops being built and constructed here in Odessa. We've also got St. Petersburg here having a similar number of ships built as well. And we've got these forces moving into position. I mean, look at that. Under General Roberts here, that is a behemoth of it really is a wonderful army there. We've also got here Moscow still under our control. Now, there were some very anxious moments from the councils, because they thought for a time that I was going to actually give Moscow to Poland to really sort of appease the Poles. But there's many saying, man, do not give the Poles Russia. There have been a few calls for us to give Poland Moscow. But there's also been, I think, just outweighing those others on the council. There's the members of the council saying don't give it, outweighs those who are saying give it to Poland. As they rightly said, if we give Poland Moscow, their strength is going to just absolutely skyrocket. But if we give it back to Russia when we're ready, not yet, but when we are ready to give it back to Russia, what that hopefully might do, and what the council is also hoping it might happen, is it might trigger a sort of a war, maybe trigger sort of a little bit of a conflict between Poland and Russia. If that happens, that will drag 2 of the most powerful forces and 2 most powerful empires into a titanic fight. As you can see here from the forces they got at the disposal just here inside Belarus. I mean, you just couldn't stop this army. If it came for you, these armies, you wouldn't stop them. You would delay them, but you wouldn't stop them. If they wanted Moscow, they would just take it from you. So we have to play a very, very careful game here. We have to find that balance, that fine equilibrium between keeping Moscow for our own ends, but giving it up when it's time to give it up. And the time to give it up, as the council has recommended, suggested, is when we've gotten Amsterdam. So effectively, we'd be trading Moscow for Amsterdam and the income from Amsterdam. But also, once we've taken Paris as well. So we've got these 2 sort of real... I mean, look at Paris. It is just an absolute economic and production powerhouse. I mean, look at the facilities they've got here. They've absolutely reached peak potential here within Paris. Amsterdam itself is nothing to be sniffed at all. I mean, look at this. They really do have absolutely everything at their disposal. So that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for this to be something that's going to really push Britain into where it needs to be, forming our own empire. But also, look at the close link we would have then with the homeland, with Britain itself. Just a short hop, skip and a jump here across the English Channel. We would then sort of be within easy sort of reach tactically, strategically. It would give us much more freedom to be able to move forces back and forth. Of course, the problem with that is the French to sort of deploy these fleets at their disposal here. That's the problem. So we've got to almost take the negatives here. So the chances are they're going to attack this fleet here. They'll probably attack this fleet here. We can't afford to lose these fleets, but we've got to take these fights. It's as simple as that. We've got no other choice. So with that in mind, let's start arranging these forces so that when these ships are built, we can actually move at least 8 armies into position. We're not going to send an army to Cairo just yet, because I think the primary goal must be here. But we will, once we've got because we'll have to either send ships back to Patras to pick up the rest, or we'll recruit an additional 4 ships. And one of those ships will be sending an army to Cairo to deal with the Cairo garrison here and try and wrestle this from the French as well, and try and get that into position. Or maybe if send 2 armies, we'll probably send one army that's the assault army, and we'll send another army that can be used primarily as a full defensive force. I believe we do have a defensive force of that nature here. There it is. Now this army here was primarily built to defend Istanbul. It wasn't an offensive army. I know it's got cuirassiers, I know, but it's got lots of line infantry. As you can see, we've got mortars and really sort of blunderbuss shotgunners. Now they are for close quarter combat. They're sort of basically sticking the shotgun in your face and pulling the trigger. That's why we put them into there. This is a defensive force, and these cavalry are in there to either defend any breaches in the walls, or to sort of run down any enemy that attack us afterwards. So that's what they're in there for. So we've got a little bit of an offensive option, but this is primarily a defensive force. So once we've cracked Cairo, we will be actually probably moving this force here under General Senshi Bat into Cairo here to defend it. So this will be basically the army that holds Cairo, whilst we send the other army all the way down the sort of coast road here to try and take Tripoli from France as well. So it's going to be, we're going to have to really sort of juggle our resources here to try and do all we want here, and what the council has requested. But let's get our forces into position, lay the sort of the foundations here for this further attack. As you can see, we've got Field Marshal Unuk here, who has to lead the force, has to lead the armies into. He is the commander, the chief commander here. He is the man in charge of all of these forces attacking France here, and indeed Cairo. He is ultimately in charge of all of it. So, oh, look at that. So we definitely have General Stefan's force moving into position here. And we do, I think, I think we'll have this army here moving in. Actually, I think we'll have General Awesome as well, but we'll move General Mendoza's force down here. Just move this force out of the way here so we can free up and have these forces available to move. This will probably be more of a defensive force here, so we'll move this gentleman here. So this is one of our army groups here. This army group, this is sort of these forces here will be. I mean, we've got some power. We've got Royal Highland Grenadiers in here, you know, and we've also got Life Guards. But primarily, we want this as a reinforcing army to sort of be there, ready to sort of enter into the fray. So that once the battle starts, the meat grinder that starts in France, we needed forces to be fed into the battle. This is what these gentlemen will be. I think what we will do is, for the time being, we'll actually probably put this army here as the guardians of Patras itself and Moria, because we want to free up this army here of Drew Cobb. Oh, look at this. General Savoski's army is an absolute brute. We'll move this down to here. We're just shuffling the cards here to make sure we've got everything we need in position. That's a very powerful General Mel the Greek. Again, we'll move it down here. And Mel was concerned that we had given up Greece to the Poles, but as I mentioned to Mel, we will be back. Britain will be back here. We will be back to Greece to retake it. Let's just move these Gen armies out of the way so we can get.
Yes,
Just move General Bat's army here.
yes, my lord.
We'll move. So this army will be staying behind there. There's Field Marshal Ernuk joining here. So we've essentially got our infrastructure here ready. We just need to move.
Ready and waiting for
We've still got a good amount coming in, well under control here. Growth is just slight here. Good tax and good income, not too shabby. We have lost a lot of money though in terms of that, but again we've just got to take this on the chin. So as you can see, we've got 3 army groups.
Yes, my lord.
And this army here as well. We've got 3 army groups and 2 armies besides.
Your Majesty.
General Wang Chuk as well. Also, General Wang Chuk is also a promotion as well. So we'd like to welcome General Wang Chuk into the fight as well. So this army will be probably staying behind as a defensive force, aim just to make sure we still got this sort of outcrop here ready to fight. Now prepare that. These armies, hopefully these armies will be able to move out and strike against and board ships and strike against Amsterdam all in one go. That's the key mission here. So this episode might be a little bit shorter than normal. But if you want to see a fourth episode, my friends, where we actually go for France, and we'll probably hopefully hit Amsterdam as well within this episode as well, then please let me know and I will definitely make sure that happens. But again, we want to take Cairo, so we'll actually probably use
Lord?
General Bat's force here.
Sir!
We'll probably just leave this force in here to guard Patras. I know it's, but by that time we'll have already, the die will already be cast, so Patras will either be taken or not. It's that if it goes, well, then we're going to have to just stick where we are, and that's the end of it. So we want to take Cairo as quickly as possible. We definitely need to take out Amsterdam as well, but we've got to get those forces into position as quickly as possible. We really do. We need to attack Amsterdam, and we need to move in against France here. We're going to assume that the French will have ships here. Let's just assume that Marseille is either got a fleet in it or around it, which means sort of this area here will be cut off from us. We'll only have a very small amount of coastline here to attack. We can't move into Spanish territory, of course, so we're going to have to sort of attack here and then move along the roads here. So we might have to strike from this direction here against Paris, or from up this coast road, sort of across the bridge here, moving up the road here through Lyon. Is there a road leading here? No, because the road stops at Clermont. We might have to split up here and take one force leading up straight for Paris through here, through Clermont. We've got this river here, which is the problem. We could cross there, but again, by the time we get there, the French will be well alert. Or we can just simply send all the forces up this road here and strike them through Dijon up here as well and hit France. But that, my friends, is going to go. We're going to end this turn. We're going to see what happens. We've got the Crimea as well. The chances are we're going to be hit by these rebels, but we will simply let that battle sort itself out. We've got the forces here. This force can hold Crimea. We'll probably hold the Crimea as long as we possibly can, or until such time. Now, we do need to actually find out what's in Cairo. Could this ship... No, it can't. Because we've got this fleet is blocking it up, because we're enemies with them, but it's just in our way. We can't get past there. Right, let's end the turn. We'll also be converting whatever's... Because that there, Cambridge will be converted into economic buildings soon as well, because its research is almost done. Let's end the turn. Let's see what happens. We've just getting... Hopefully France will do nothing. Hopefully no one will do anything to us. Everything will just slip by nice and peacefully, nice and quietly. I think of any great import. Spain, Poland. Nothing from Poland, we just want it quiet. Now they're obviously started to garrison these forces here. And they're starting to move away from Britain as well, which is always a good sign. Now they're moving towards, unless they're going to be looking to take Sweden. Now Sweden is still at war with Sweden. They're in quite a brutal war with Sweden, in fact. Yes, look at that, straight for Sweden. Straight for Sweden. That's absolutely fine now. Sweden have been a staunch ally of ours, but they've got to stand on their own 2 feet. We simply cannot be propping them up. We've got our own problems to sort out here. My word, the size of Poland, it just sends a shiver down your spine sometimes. They're moving forces around here, which is not... That's okay, as long as they just keep away from us. We're hopefully going to, over time, bring our relationship with Poland into more of a peaceful, friendly atmosphere. And the same with Russia. Plenty of forces moving here, though They're sort of loitering around Moscow. That's the concern. That's fine if they want to send in missionaries up here. Maybe they're going to move against Sweden, but it doesn't look like they're just sort of loitering around. Where's Sweden going to go here? Venice. Cherokees looks like what? There it is. We just expected as such. Let's just deal with this quickly and without mercy. Ah, they're ready. So we immediately want to move that. Plus 1 to morale, plus 1 to besieging. Excellent. Oh look, the victory is ready. So immediately we're going to send victory up to Glasgow to join Admiral Collins' fleet. Oh, look at this force here. We've started to gather some real power here. We've also got another heavy first rate being put together here as well, which we might even move down to here to start to protect this fleet as well.
Where to, Captain?
Damn, that's a strong French fleet, my goodness me. That's not so much. Neither is that really, but still. I think we move this fleet down to here. Ready in preparation. We've got to be ready for every eventuality here.
All hands on deck.
What if it just goes off that slightly here?
Orders, Captain.
19,000. So what we're going to do is we just want to keep him here in this vicinity,
Orders. Set sail.
just so he can sort of support. We can support. Yes, we've got Admiral Collins. We've got another heavy first rate going into here. Got 21,000 in the bank. We want to try and keep that, just in case we hit some bankruptcy here or we get ourselves in trouble. But ideally, we'd like to try and keep that 4,000. So we might just. We might get a carronade frigate. They got some heavy firepower. Well, they got that short range firepower that can do a lot of damage. Heavy privateer. That heavy privateer's got a real kick to it. We might get a heavy privateer here. That's really got some heavy punch to it, that one. Admiral's flagship. We might get a third rate ship of the line here. But I wouldn't mind to get some carronade frigates. Impressive short range so we can get close to them. I think we'll do that just to make sure we get that. Right, this is where things really do come into their own now. So we've got these ships ready here. So let's move this here.
Any orders?
Right, let's get this ready here now. And also up here as well, we should have these. Indeed, sir. So what we are going to do is we're just going to set them out ready. One here.
Ship's orders, ship's orders.
And what we'll do is as you can see here, I did forget to mention, we're actually going to move the 33rd Foot, the 4th Grenadier, and the 1st Grenadiers into this army here. This army will actually become an assault force under General Bish. So this is going to be, and this army here will then move in to replace the forces we've taken from St. Petersburg. So we've still got that well-balanced army here in St. Petersburg, which we're going to hold on to for as long as we can. Move this into here. These gentlemen into here. Now that's a powerful strike force. We don't have full here. We might even take the lifeguards out of here, I think, and put them into here.
Forward! Up! Ready for
plenty of cavalry. That's going to pack a real punch here, this. Plenty of cavalry, which we probably need. So, put this gentleman here.
Awaiting further orders.
This ship will be here.
Under sail. Captain.
Now we are ready to move, so can we get these armies into the ships and move at the same time? Let's just check this out.
Ready for orders.
Our first strike force,
Any further
our
orders?
first army is ready to go. Can it reach?
Ready.
Let's just make sure. Let's just make sure. It can. Right, let's load up. Will this army reach here? Look at that. Swiss guards, my goodness me.
Ready and waiting. Anything more?
Will this fleet, will this ship make it? It will indeed. Okay, the signs are good. Now we've got to get load on this last force, which is, just look at that, it's absolutely so powerful. We've even got horse guards, which are the defenders of the royal family.
All away. Waiting for orders. Yes, your majesty.
So this, we don't know if this ship will make it, but we're assuming if we just move this ship, this here,
Awaiting further orders. Any orders?
yes, it'll make it. Absolutely wonderful news. So we have our first assault group, our army group here. Eventually they'll be joined by those in Moscow. We're going to keep St. Petersburg, we're going to hold on to St. Petersburg, but this army will eventually be moving from Moscow to St. Petersburg, and then it will be loaded up onto the last transport ship and sent into France. Now, we've got to get this just right here. So we've got 8 ships to work with here. We've got to get our army groups into position here.
Ready and awaiting orders.
Then we're moving into position and attacking. 3 ships. First ship here, let's just do this by the numbers here.
Sir, your orders? Orders? Ready for orders. Make ready. Lord? Sir! Lord!
Everybody set up. Look at that. There's Field Marshal Ernok here. We actually, what we will do is we'll have Field Marshal Ernok joining these other elite armies here.
Set sail! Jump
We
to it.
really are going to pack a punch here.
Underway. At the ready. Yes.
Right, let's load. General Field Marshal Ernok.
Ready, still, and ship waiting. Your humble, sir. Yes. Boarding the fleet. Heave away, boys. Heave away.
Can these ships make it? Yes. Right.
Your Majesty.
That's a powerful force here, but with whom I think we'll send this force in, General Mendoza.
Awaiting further orders. Waiting. Sir. Ready and waiting for orders. On our way, Captain.
First army group assembled, ready for moving towards France. Second army group,
Can't sail there, Captain. Your Majesty.
General Savorsky's army. Got heavy cavalry here. We've got guards here. We've also got grenadiers. We've also got line infantry guards. Let's move in.
Under sail. Waiting for orders.
Now, will this ship make it? It should
Ready
make
for
it.
action. Set sail.
Yes, it will make it. Excellent.
Sir, your orders.
Very strong. General Mel the Greek. Fear not, Mel. We shall be back,
cannot
my
do
friend.
that. Yes. Heave away, boys. Any further orders? Underway.
Second army group almost ready.
Yes, Captain. Still shipshape. Sir.
Now we need to select that army that's going to move in with it.
Sir, your orders? Lord? Yes.
Oh, that's a fine army with Marines in it as well. We shall move. We'll have this army moving in.
Anchor! On our way, Captain.
2 army groups, very powerful army groups ready to strike. We've got 3 ships left.
Ready, still ship.
We need to also select the armies that are going to attack Cairo. I think we'll have General Drew Cobb's army for Cairo.
Troops, forward! At the ready. Make ready. Your Majesty.
I think we'll have General Senji Bat's army as well, ready for Cairo.
Immediately.
This force will be moved into to defend. And we have this army group then as our last army group to move into France.
And look lively. Yes, Captain.
Will it reach? It will indeed.
Set, ready, sail, and waiting. Yes, sir.
No general here, so we've just got
Underway. Yes, Your Majesty.
all British power is now at sea.
All away. Lord.
Under General Ryan Futcher.
Under sail. Waiting for orders.
You'd better be able to still make it there.
All away.
I believe he can. Indeed he can. Excellent. Now, this is crucial. This is critical now. We've got to strike at the right time here. So we've got our forces here. These 2 armies are going to be striking.
Make ready.
We've got another army here as well that doesn't have a ship. So this army here is actually going to have to be picked up again. I know it's got a real powerful force here, but we just don't have the ships in situ yet to be able to move this army in yet. But it will be following behind. We can take Cairo. We might even be able to take Tripoli without having to move that force from Cairo. But then again, we need all our firepower. We don't want 3 armies in North Africa. We want all our firepower in France. So our first mission is to move these armies. Oh, look at that. My goodness me. Right, General Naylor. General Bish. General Roberts. I think we'll send General Roberts' force in first.
Your humble, sir.
Then we've got General A.J. Naylor. We're going to move this general just here so we can we've got to make sure we got this completely surrounded the city, so when we move in against it everything is as it should be. Just moving beautifully into, look at that, just unimpeded here. Wonderful. Got plenty of guns here as well. Lots of cavalry. What we need is a more of a... That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Strike. We demand surrender.
Lifting siege.
Oh, we've taken Amsterdam without even a shot being fired.
Aye, sir. Feet to march. Anything more? Sail.
My goodness me, that just happened.
Orders. Set sail.
We just took Amsterdam without a shot being fired. $6,000 to repair. We've got to throw the money at them here. And the Army Staff College, we've got to get these repaired as quickly as possible. Actually, we don't need that. Oh, Marines, but we do need to get this Presidential Palace up and running because it will give us +5 repression. That's not too bad at all, is it? Let's be honest. We'll get those two replenished and ready. Actually, we'll probably... That's going to cost 6,000 there. What we've got coming in, 18,000 here. So that's the first city has fallen already. And we haven't even lost a single troop. Minus 12, my goodness me. Oh, look at that. We'll keep it exempt from tax here. We'll just keep it exempt. Try and bring this under control here. There will be a rebellion, but we can crush that rebellion pretty quickly. Good grief. Look at the size of Westphalian forces. Right, second phase. Let's send these ships up. Ah, there it is, as I suspected. Field Marshal landed. Back to Patras. We're going to do this by the book, by the numbers here. Second Army. By the numbers. Landed. Can't make it back to Patras, but we're getting as close as we possibly can here. An army group has now been landed in France. Sent back. What an operation this is, my friends. What an operation. Ship. Being sent back now. This won't reach it because it's come from Odessa, so they've actually run their course, as it were. Second army group almost in position. We might lose some ships because the French might come for these ships, but that's the price we've got to pay. Second army group, 2 army groups now on French soil. Oh my goodness me, look at that one there. I mean, that's definitely not going to make it back. The French will sink that for definite. But still. By the numbers, sir, by the numbers. Second, third army group almost landed. And that, my friends, is all British forces, bar one, now in France. And that, my friends, is mission successful. As you can see now, all of our forces are now landed in France. We can't move just yet. We're going to probably have a massive response by from the French here against Amsterdam. We've landed a very powerful force here in Amsterdam. We've also got 3 army groups now landed. We're going to aim straight for Paris. We'll probably take an army group and hit Strasbourg. We're probably, and the rest of the forces are going to hit Paris, and we're just going to steamroll everything they got here. But look at what was Valia. That is a huge amount of forces here. But we're not going to stop. They don't. You look at that. Even Brussels has doesn't have any garrison at all, so we could even move out and take Brussels probably. But again, I'll leave that to the council and see what you want to say, my friends, what your advice and plans are. But we've landed, and whatever's in Paris is going to be steamrolled. I can promise you, if they've got 6 armies here, it'll be steamrolled by these. These are the creme de la creme of British forces. But my friends, we're going to end this episode right there, my friends. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'd like to thank all of you for your wonderful advice and your wonderful support. And without you, this campaign would not be where it is now. We are on the cusp of possibly ridding ourselves of one of the strongest nations in this campaign. There's going to be some bumps in the road, because there's a very good chance that these are going to be attacked pretty soon here by the French. If we can get some more ships out, we're trying to build up a little bit of a bank up here as well. But that is to come yet, my friends. If we can unleash these forces on Paris and just take Paris, then leapfrog, take Strasbourg, move through Hanover, possibly even take Dresden here. We'll have to take Hanover, because we can't move through Stuttgart, we can't move through Cologne. We've got to go through Hanover to get to Saxony. But my friends, I'm going to end this episode here. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please keep your comments coming down below. Please let me know if you want a 4th episode. Please let me know if what's going to be the thing. Is it going to be Paris, then Brussels? Is it going to be Brussels, Paris, and then we move to Strasbourg, then Hanover, then Dresden? We've got forces ready to take Cairo as well, sat there waiting for the ships to move them. But my friends, hope you've enjoyed this. Whatever you're doing, please be safe. And until next time, my friends, bye for now.